Shalom family, shalom. I'm coming today with another video. And today we're going to be talking about, as you guys seen, the 12 monkeys. Now I found this show on Hulu and I started watching it because I watched the preview, and it was like a little trailer, and it was talking about this virus that basically killed the whole world, and it was only some people who survived this virus because they was immune. Now y'all knowing the times that we in, I was like, oh, I definitely know it's some secret messages in here. Okay. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. Started watching it. So much stuff. Okay. Now we're gonna be talking about the 144,000 daughters, as y'all know we always do. But yeah, I want to show y'all a few things that stood out to me right off bat in the show. Now I'm on season 2 now. Season 2, the main character, his name is Cole. He a time traveler. Now what's happening in the show is they sending him back in time from the future, from 2044 to basically they trying to figure out who started the plague. They call it a plague. Who started the virus, who started the plague, and they're trying to stop it or whatever. So they're going back in time to try to change the future, to try to stop the plague, stop it from killing basically majority of humanity except for those who was immune, right? Now it's funny because y'all know I'm an STNA. I just became a phlebotomist, but I work in the health field. And I work around people who was getting the coronavirus. Obviously, I work with people who, was having the coronavirus. And I don't know if I caught it or not. If I did caught it, I didn't have symptoms. Now, I recently did get sick this year after all of this time. I don't know if that was the coronavirus or what. But however, what I was saying was, I work around people who had the coronavirus, and the whole time I never had gotten sick. Now, before the coronavirus came out, like in 2019, maybe, when did the coronavirus happen? In 2020? So in 2019, maybe, I want to say October-ish, September-ish, my son was in the hospital for 5 days. He was on high oxygen. They say he had a respiratory infection. And right after that, the whole coronavirus thing came about. So I always wondered if my son had the coronavirus, if we had all already had it, because my husband had got real sick around that time too. And he had went to the urgent care and got like some medicine they gave him, and he was taking that or whatever. But then, like I said, then the coronavirus came out like a few months later, and I always wondered if, they had the coronavirus. I don't think I had got sick at that time. Anywho, so that could be the reason why maybe we didn't catch it, because maybe we already had it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but that's why I was saying all of that to ramble. Point being, maybe I didn't catch it because we had already had it. But I have been working with people with the coronavirus, and I hadn't got sick. Now, I remember when it all first started, I had went in the bathroom. I literally was crying and talking to God because I had this one resident. Her name, maybe I shouldn't say her name, because then, somebody sent this to my job. They're like, oh, you just, okay. Anyway, I just had this one resident. And, she had the coronavirus. She was coughing, hacking. I thought this lady was dying. She ended up surviving, though. And, I had her. And, how they try to give you, I'm PRN, so that means I work as needed. But I am, on a schedule. But because I only work 2 days a week, they try to, just put me where they want me to go or whatever. You know how if anybody is an STNA or worked in the health field, they try to give you the hardest stuff that they don't want to do, right? So they had put me in this hall with all of these residents who had coronavirus because nobody did want to take it, right? And I went in the bathroom that day. I cried. I was talking to God. I was crying. I almost walked out my job that day. I was like, oh my God, Lord, I do not want to go out here. I do not want to take coronavirus home to my kids. I do not want to go in here, Lord. I was crazy after. And I felt in my spirit that God was telling me that I was going to be protected, okay? That I was going to be protected. And I sucked it up. I stopped crying. I went in the lady's room, got her out of bed, got her dressed and stuff. I was so frightened. They had me scared, y'all, with the So, anywho, I'm rambling. But the whole point of that saying is this whole time I was saying at my job, telling people that I'm immune. So when the vaccine came out and they started trying to give people that, and I was like, oh, I'm immune. I ain't getting that. I'm immune. You know, and I had been saying I was immune the whole time, and I never had gotten sick. So I know people was wondering, like, is she really immune? I was wondering too. Okay, but anywho, let's get back into the show. So it was only a few people who had survived that was immune to the virus. So they was going back in time. Now in the show, it's this guy named Ramses. He is the guy Cole's best friend, and he had called him in this season too. He called him Traveler Jesus. Okay, I said, Lord, Lord, Lord. Stood right out to me, because let me show y'all this status I went and found on my Facebook that I posted in June 23rd, 2019, right? What if I told y'all Jesus was a time traveler? Right? And I just had, that was just a thought that I had. Like, I had no proof to back that up. Okay, but I want to show y'all something. Okay, I was reading about the Essenes, which, remember we talked about, what video was it? Let's go check it out. What was the title of that video? It will happen in Detroit. Are we in Armageddon? Right? My friend from Detroit, you guys know I'm from Michigan, and I live in Ohio now. But she lives in Detroit, and she was sending me the stuff about the Essenes and the Templars and stuff. Somehow I ended up going back to that because I wanted to pull out something that she said. So I was trying to find out where she pulled that from, which I knew was Wikipedia from this, the screenshots that she had sent me. So I ended up coming across this, and I was reading, and I just want to read y'all something that it say. It says, Guardian Yeshua. I seen this, so I had to read. So it said, the narrative of Jesus Christ was created from the event of groups of Syrian blue humans from the future that came to change the third-dimensional timelines and bring the Essenes, Christos, Templars, and law of one ascension, knowledge, and its consciousness technology back to planet Earth. Guardian Yeshua came to the earth plane with his genetic equal wife, Mary Sophia, holding the staff. So it says she was holding the staff, Mary Sophia holding the staff, and with a large Syrian ground crew. Underground portals were used for Egypt Melchizedek initiations for ascensions out of stargates, as well as in Amarna. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Amarna, where Akhenaten had left information for them in the area. The Amarna portal was access to high law of one and Guardian founder racist technology in Ireland and in the UK. Now, what have I been telling y'all about Ireland? They call it the Holy Land, okay? And the word Ireland, it does break down to the Holy Land. I posted the breakdown of the word on my Facebook before. It actually means like her holy land. So so where was I? The mission was partially successful. They could not recover Blu-ray staff and Mother Principal Force for the Earth Core. The FD Blue Flame staff alignment was destroyed in the Stonehenge DNA fire letters code scrambling. That was a result of the Sumerian Egypt invasion. Yeshua was not crucified and ascended out with the Guardian support. The group was partially successful in their mission, and many other Christos consciousness family have been on Earth since then to prepare for the return of the crystal star on the Earth. The crystal star returned with a planetary hosting change in January 23rd. Now, keep in mind, they just said Jesus was not crucified. This brings us into one of our next breakdowns that we're going to do, which is on iPad Go 3. If y'all haven't seen it, go watch the little click of it, because we're going to be breaking that down. But what interested me is that it said he was a time traveler. Okay, time traveler. So I read that before I heard that on the show, and then I remembered the status that I posted about Jesus being a time traveler. I said, ain't it funny? Now it's so much stuff that we about to talk about. So with everything that's going on, it tripped me out because they was showing how this virus, this plague, wiped out majority of humanity. Is that what we're looking at, or is it just fear tactics that they putting us through in movies, or are we really showing something? Now the plague was man-made, okay, and it just make me think of what's her name, Sister Carrie Ann Gideon. I watch her videos sometimes I don't know, but I just watch them. I watch a lot of people's videos who I don't totally agree with, but just to see if they get similar messages as me or whatever. I just, chew the meat, spit out the bones, right? But she always say, man-made pestilence, okay? Man-made pestilence. She cracking me up, but then she African, so she got her accent. It's just so funny. I'd be cracking up. So it was man-made. Do y'all think the CV-19 is man-made? Got us something to think about. I think I just heard I think I was just actually watching a video where they said it was man-made, or I heard it on I don't know. I just was walking by something that I think was saying it. Okay, so I want to talk about one of the characters in the show. Her name was Juniper, and she was supposed to be like a crazy girl. She was in the mental house or whatever. And I wanted to just look up the name of her. Now, if y'all watch the trailer, I put the trailer at the beginning of the video. Now, I'm making this video before I had put the trailer, so I'm talking to y'all like y'all haven't seen it. So the trailer that I showed y'all, the little part that I just showed y'all, the older woman with the hat on, like what was his name from Mortal Kombat? Y'all know who I'm talking about. She had that little hat on. Her name is Juniper. Now they time traveling, so they in 2044 on this part that you see right now, and she's older, but they had been going back to 2015, 2016, 2017, etc., where she was younger as well. So you see her in the show old and young, okay? But it's saying I wanted to see what her name was, because right off the bat I knew that she was playing the Bride of Christ, okay? The guy Cole, they called him Jesus Traveler, so we know he playing Jesus, right? And she kind of like in love with him. She called him Otter Eyes and all of this stuff, but he worked with another woman who I was thinking maybe was the one, but no, not in because I'm gonna break it all down. It's her, because they show her in the black wedding dress. And it's funny because I shared this status. I said, I had seen a Facebook post of a black wedding dress, and I had shared it. Said I should wear a black wedding dress, right? So crazy. So they show her in a black wedding dress, just like how we seen. I did the video about Iggy Azalea. I've been looking for a savior. In that video, she got on a black wedding gown, right? So she come out. She got the black wedding gown on, and it all hit me. I said she is the one who was representing the Bride of Christ. They was talking, right? So you see how they said the daughters. They called the daughters, okay? Hello, the daughters. Ain't that all I've been talking about? So the daughters. They called the daughters, and it hit me. I already knew it, but I was just waiting for more clues in the show to like really tell it. And they didn't really make it clear to season 2, okay? And I was like, I knew it. I knew it. Okay, so they called the daughters, and she is what you call a primary. Like in the show, they calling her a primary. Now, what she say is that time have like people who work for it. Basically, I guess I don't know how to explain it, but basically, it's it's like I'm trying to like think of the best way to explain it, but basically they have a connection with time. Like they can break the barriers of time, basically. Like the barriers of time don't really apply to them, I guess I want to say. They call primaries, and they have like this relationship with time or whatever. And which I'm saying is just meaning chosen. Okay, primary, the first. They was the first fruits. Okay, the daughters. Now in the show, they got primaries as men and women, but when she talk about her army, like in the future, in 2044, it's just her and her army. Her army is all women. Okay, so listen. So it say, Juniper may mean the fair one. They also said it means the white fairy. Okay, it can also mean the white fairy. The white fairy. It means the fair one. Okay. Now I found this interesting. It said Cornish form. It is the cognate with the Welsh from Guinevere or Gwyn. I don't know. And with the old Irish Findabear. Despite the name's similarity to the Old English words Jennifer, Jennifer, and Jennifer, these appear to be derived from the juniper plant used to flavor the beverage. So it say the name is derived from the juniper tree. Now, why is that interesting? Because y'all know months and months and months back when they was doing the broom challenge and that went viral, we talked about the juniper tree, and we talked about how that was representing the rise of the feminine and the broomstick and all of that stuff. These is old videos, so if you're new to the channel, you might have to go back and watch some of these older videos to catch up and really understand like some of the stuff that I be talking about on the channel, or you might be lost just watching something for the first time. So Juniper. Okay, so I found that very interesting. Okay, so once I seen her in the black wedding dress, and what she had said was they was trying to kill the primaries, because if they killed the primaries, these chosen people, then somehow it would affect time, because they was connected to time. So it would affect time, and it would be like no end, no beginning. Like everything would just be happening continuously at the same time. Death and life, etc., etc. The end and the beginning, etc. So like time would collapse into itself. So she was called a primary. Okay, the first one. It was the first fruits. Her and the daughters. Okay, and this is what it's telling us. So they was the army, the daughters are the army. So what she said, which is the 144,000, as I've been explaining to y'all on this channel. So what she had said was, Cole was talking to her, and she was like, they trying to kill the primaries, people like you should come back to the compound where he was staying with him or whatever, like where they do the time traveler stuff at. And she was like, I'm not, my army. She was basically like, my army got me. The daughters, okay, and she was like, my army is stronger than they army. Ooh, I was like, ooh, her army is stronger than they army. But yeah, so it was tripping me out, right? So then I knew that the daughters, they was the 144,000 or whatever, etc. And this was the year 2044. So she was the bride. And one thing that she said in the show was, she said, I'm the monster, right? Because she had a recollection of when her mother was trying to drown her. Maybe her mother knew that everything was going to happen. Because like you got to watch the show. It's a lot to explain. She was kind of the cause of the virus or whatever, because she was working in a lab for her father before they put her in a crazy home and all of that. They was working on this virus. They was like, she was part of the team that was working on the virus in the beginning. So she felt like maybe her mother was trying to drown her because she knew that, the future or whatever. And her mother was calling her a monster and all of that. So after she had that recollection, she was like, I'm the monster. Let's talk about this. Monster. Mon, M-O-N. N and M is interchangeable, as I've taught you guys. So M-O-N is M-O-M. And then star. So we got mom star. She said, I'm the mom star. Okay. And the army was her daughters. So she was the mother star, the mom star, the monster. She said, I'm the monster. Now, you got to read between the lines. Monster is mom star. And what did Jesus say? I am the root and the offspring of the bright and morning star. Jesus never said he was the bright and morning star. He said he is the offspring, the child of the bright and morning star, of the mother star, of the mon star, of the mom star, okay? Of the monster. Okay, if y'all ever know Lady Gaga, she called herself Mother Monster. That's why. It's all symbolism. They constantly using this stuff in they rituals and whatever. So she said, I'm the monster. That confirmed it for me, okay? I said, oh yeah. She the monster. She the mom star. She was the bride. She was playing the role of the bride. And that's why she was in the black wedding dress. Why she said, I'm the monster. And why she had an army of daughters. So, Cole, they call him Jesus Traveler, okay? No, Time Jesus. That's what they call it. I don't know. I got to go back and watch it. He said either Time Jesus or Traveler Jesus. I think it was Time Jesus, though. So it seemed like the same thing going on because we're in a time where we got this plague, this CV-19, right? Now, as they're telling us that man-made pestilence is going to wipe out most of humanity except for those who are immune. Is that where we're heading? Now, another thing that stood out to me was Juniper's death date. Now, this is going to lead us into the show Manifest, which we also going to talk about because they had death dates on there. Now, this really tripped me out, and I'm kind of getting a little emotional, like my heart feel like dropping to my stomach because it's like this whole death thing is coming back up again, right? Y'all remember when I said I felt like I was going to die, and I actually gave myself a death date. Now, this is so crazy because my death date was September 23rd. Do y'all remember that? It was also our harvest date. And September came around last year and nothing happened. I said, well, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy, but what if I had the right day in the wrong year? So Juniper, she's seen her death date in the show. Her death date was September 23rd, 2044. Y'all, I about rolled out the bed. I had to start telling my husband, like, babe, oh my God, the death date is September 23rd, 2044. Remember when I was saying that we was going to die in September? Like, I was saying bye to my family members and stuff, y'all. They probably think I'm nuts, okay? They think I'm nuts. I was telling my mom I'm going to die. Telling my husband we're going to die. We the two witnesses. Oh, Lord. But why is this coming back up again? That was my death date, September 23rd. Her death date in the show was September 23rd, 2044. Is that a coincidence? Now, what's more crazy is if you count the years from 2021 to 2044, it equals 23. What's even crazier is I had a dream where I seen the numbers 23. Well, it wasn't a dream. It was more like a vision where I seen the numbers 23. And I've talked about that before, like even on Wakefulness Theology page, because she talked about the number 23 And they said she was saying it represents 144,000, and she said she had a vision at the number 23, and I was in her comments and I said I had a vision at the number 23 too, as well. So that's really how I linked up with her, how I, why I'm still subscribed to her channel and why I was really watching her, because she was receiving like some of the same stuff that I was. But anyway, they kicked me out the group. Wakefulness Theology, yes, they kicked me out the group on Facebook because she said, they was getting complaints about me and stuff because I was posting stuff that they wasn't ready for, basically, and they was calling me a witch and a wolf in sheep's clothing and all of that stuff, just because they wasn't ready for it. Now, a year or two later, a lot of the stuff that I was trying to teach them back then, she has spoken about, as far as the numbers and all of the, a lot of the spiritual stuff that I was trying to tell them back then. So I ended up getting kicked out of the group, which was fine. But I look and I watch her videos now, and I'm just like, y'all is years behind. Y'all would have been caught up. But, I see she was saying she wanted to take her time and get her messages as she received them. But I think that we're supposed to work together to put the pieces of the puzzle together to move this thing along. We don't got forever, But, I don't know. I guess I offended them. Sometimes it's like if you know too much. Let me explain something to y'all. If somebody thinks that they're smart, right? And I'm not trying to take nothing away from nothing. And they might think that they the only one who whatever. And they come across that person who might know a little bit more, not even much more, but let's just say a little bit more. They automatically get offended. They don't want you around. They feel like you're trying to steal their shine. You're trying to be the teacher, when really you're just trying to help them put their pieces together so that they can have the right pieces put in together. And I ain't even going to say the right pieces, because who knows if I'm right. It's just a coincidence that if I ain't right, all of this stuff is showing the TV shows. But and I never seen this stuff until I learned what I know now, okay, about the daughters and about what they did to women in the Bible, etc., etc. So yeah, and I think that was really the thing, what it was. But yeah, I got kicked out the group, whatever. But yeah, so from 2021 to 2044 is 23 years. So not only is it September 23rd, and the show is 23 years from where we are now. From this year, September, it'd be 23 years. September 23rd, 23 years. I was just like, what is this really about? Now, I'm going to get let's pull up Gematria, because this is really why I was thinking that. I pulled it up. I don't know. I knew I had it as my death date. I don't know why. I had it as my death date, right? But I had put it in on Gematria, and Gematria was like, basically, you're going to die September 23rd. And I was like, oh, snap, I'm going to die September 23rd. So I forget what the numbers was. But I went back to look for the post, because I made a Facebook status post in my group. If anybody in my group on here, do y'all remember that when I put the post and I said it was going to die and all of that? I have the numbers and everything posted up. I went back and I tried to find that post, and of course I deleted it because I felt like a fool. But look, 317, which is a number that I see all the time, 1902-996. Okay, so this is why 996 is a number that's my name. Like, my full name I don't know if it's my full name. I also had all of the numbers from my name and Gematria wrote down, like, in every way possible, but my kids kind of destroyed that notebook, and I haven't went and did it again, which I probably should. But 996 it's a number from my name. So when I put that in and I start seeing numbers that match my name and stuff, I was like, okay, now this might be true. 317, that's a number that matched my name. So yeah, and like all the other numbers, like these numbers was just, and I was just like, I'm gonna die in September. But I'm sorry, I was reading some of these. But yeah. So I put that in on Gematria, and I put in a bunch of different stuff, and the numbers was just like match my name. Like that has to be like on the same frequency. How is it that her death date in this show is September 23rd, the same day that I said my death day was gonna be on? The same day that we did multiple videos on about the harvest. If y'all go back, y'all know we was doing videos on this day. But after it passed, I left it alone. 621 equals 921, the Feast of New Wine and New Oil. 621 equals 921. 621 equals 921. 621. So we had the 21st through the 23rd was the days that we was looking at. And the 23rd was the day, was my death date, because my husband's sister, it was her. Y'all don't be going on my family page and stuff now, because y'all see me on here. Let's see. She named her daughter, and this is a post that I had sent her a long time, and this was July 18th. I said, Jaslyn. I told her that energy, vitality, spirit. Lynn or Lynn Lake. My son's name is Taylor. She named her daughter Jaslyn. And I said, I hope you don't find it weird I looked up your daughter's name, but your pregnancy is very symbolic for me, as your due date is a day that I have been talking about for the past year. She was due on September 23rd. And I said that was the harvest, or the birthing, right? And she ended up being due on that day. So all of this stuff was so symbolic, and I was just like, oh my God, this is my death date. And I was saying that I was going to die on that day, and maybe other people was going to die and all of that stuff. So it's just funny that this came back up as her death date in the show, September 23rd, 2044, and that from 2021 to 2044 is 23 years exactly. Anybody know more about this number 23? I would love to hear it. 2 + 3 = 5. So if you know anything, I would love to hear it. But I think I don't really have that much more to say. Y'all seen the show. What I want y'all to tell me is, do y'all think that this is symbolic of the CV-19? Do y'all think this is about to wipe out majority of humanity except for the chosen or the immune? I'm trying to see if it's anything I left out. I don't think it is. So the 144,000 is the daughters, as we keep confirming show after show after show after show. So the next show we're going to talk about, y'all, is Motherland. I really want to talk about that show with y'all because there's some very good stuff I want to point out. But shalom, family. I love you guys. Until we meet again.
Hunting for the origins of this novel coronavirus as it continues to spread around the world. And even though little is known about this virus so far, experts suspect that bats could be the likely hosts.
They can come into contact with urine and feces from the bats and get infected that way.
You've got urine and feces spraying from one enclosure to another, creating really an incubator for emerging viruses.
Now a newly published paper strongly suggests, like SARS, the original source of this virus was bats.
I know some things that you don't know. It's going to be very difficult for you to understand it. Simply trying to gather information to help the people in the present trace the path of the virus.
We're not in the present now.
This is a place for crazy people.
I'm not saying you're not mentally ill. For all I know, you're crazy as a loon.
The army of the 12 monkeys, they're the ones that spread the virus.
Monkeys?
That's the future, James. Do you think you're living in the future?
You haven't become addicted to that dying world?
No, sir.
Yes, my son.
You're a trained psychiatrist. You know the difference between what's real and what's not. One man has a vision of the future.
Wackos everywhere, plague of madness.
Another dreams of living in the past.
I just want to do my part to get us back on top, in charge of the planet.
Crazy as a loon.
Both men are dangerous.
5 million people are gonna die!
But only one of them can stop the 12 monkeys.
Too late. Too late.
Two's not working today. Use one.
Just want access to the pure virus.
Virus? Yes, for the future. I need to know where it is and exactly what it is.
Ah, I get it. I see what you're up to. It's your old plan, isn't it? Watching television, and you were all upset about the desecration of the planet, which I understand. But then you said to me, wouldn't it be great if there was a germ or a virus that would wipe out all of mankind, not only the animals and the trees? That
No,
was
you're
so
just trying to
funny,
confuse
man.
me
So
now.
funny. And I told you my father was this famous virologist, and you said, hey, he can make a germ, and we can steal it.
You just need the information.
Take it easy, Mr.
You are total nutcase, completely deranged.
And you know what it is. You know I'm up to 12 monkeys.
My father's been warning people about the dangers of experimentation with DNA and viruses for years. You process that information through your adult paranoid infrastructure, and behold, a non-profit organization comes up sinister revolutionary cabal. This man is complete bullshit. Comes up sinister revolutionary cabal. This man is complete bullshit. Comes up sinister revolutionary cabal. This man is complete bullshit. Comes up sinister revolutionary cabal. This man is complete bullshit.
No, James, you have...
Comes up sinister revolutionary cabal. This man is complete bullshit.
Excuse me, sir. Would you mind letting me have a look at the contents of your bag, please?
Me? Biological samples. I have the papers right here.
Well, I'm going to have to ask you to open this up, sir.
Open it.
It's empty.
Well, yes, to be sure. It looks empty. I assure you it's not. There, you see? Also invisible to the naked eye. It doesn't even have an odor.
That's not necessary, sir. There you go. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a good flight.
High five.